My greetings to all of you. As a citizen of this world, I always see myself and act on the basis that I belong to humanity at large. And although I am one of those who have been unprivileged because of unfairness that has been inflicted on me and on my fellow citizens. My name is Talal Abu-Ghazaleh. I was born in Jaffa, Palestine, and that was in 1938. And I feel sad and sorry when we call Palestine by any other name, because Palestine is the country that was, that is, and which will remain. And I'm one of the admirers and students of Shakespeare, and I always remember many of his philosophical statements. I think I'm quoting him when I say that a rose is a rose is a rose by whatever name you call it. And so is Palestine. If others decide to call it by other names, I feel sorry for them. But for me and for my people and for every noble citizen, the name cannot be changed by a decision of a person, no matter how high-ranking he is. Like Balfour, his promise to give Palestine to another group of people who were a problem for Europe, as everybody knows and maybe sometimes doesn't want to admit. The reason for invading Palestine, based on a false promise by somebody who doesn't own giving something to some people who do not deserve. Palestine is the birth of a baby who is illegitimate, illegal, and inhuman, because you cannot just, for political means and objectives, to give a country away in spite of its people and their wish. When I was 10 years old, I went up to the roof of the building where we were living to listen carefully to loudspeakers of cars touring the city and declaring in Arabic that everybody is requested to leave their homes, shops, whatever, and go to the shore and take the first available ship out for the safety of the military operations. The speaker seemed to be Arabic, but it turned out that he is not, and that he was one of the Jews who wanted to occupy the country so that later on they can claim that this is a country with no people, for people who have no country. So it's a good formula. This country is empty, which means I'm not there, I did not exist, to people who have no country, no home, for whom I'm not responsible, but it is the European community and the rest of the Western world that was responsible for their being homeless. So we, my father, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, rushed to the shore. And I knew that it was summer when that happened, the summer of 1948. And we took the first available ship, and it happened to be a cargo ship. It's not for passengers and did not have any of the facilities of a passenger or human travelers. On the boat, because you can hardly call it a ship, on the boat, I looked at my father's face, and that was a moment that I never forgot in my life. The expression of despair and feeling of injustice, of being out of his home, out of his empire, where he had all his business networks, and to find himself on a cargo ship, helpless and not aware of the direction this ship is taking him, and more than that, not aware of what the future will bring him. My mother was more composed, and she was handling the situation with a great understanding and support for all of us, and kept telling us, it's only a few hours or few days and we will be back. So this is not the end of it. This is the beginning of another bright future. Anyway, we landed on at one of the ports of Lebanon in the south. And since my father happened to have special business relations with a certain Lebanese from southern Lebanon in a village called Ghaziyah, south of Sidon, we decided that instead of being taken there into a camp or being homeless, we decided to go to this village, counting on the nobleness and generosity of Al-Hajj Rida Khalifi, who was the mayor of that village and a business partner of my father. And indeed, in Ghaziyah, we were received royally, and not as refugees, but as guests, and as very welcome guests. And we were fortunate to enjoy the hospitality of the Lebanese southern population. Yet the feeling was that we are refugees. So I kept watching the body language of my father and wondering, what can I do? What should I do? You may find it strange, but it is that moment that I formulated my plans for my future. I was very angry and very disappointed and very frustrated, yet with my mother's support, I was very composed. And in a few days, I came up with my life plan. I am going to be on a mission. And that mission is to prove to the world that we, the Palestinians and the Arabs, are more worthy of our control of our destiny and our ownership of our land and our life than those invaders who came from all different places in the world, where they were not welcome. They were not welcome there, and that's why they were helped to travel to my country. On the basis that we needed them, that's the claim of the media, to build the country and to develop it. So I started my mission. I had a mission. And instead of continuing to get frustrated or to become revengeful or to try the many legitimate ways of recapturing your country, which I have no objection to, because this is a human law, this is UN laws, this is everything, every legal argument is there for the right of people to use all means to liberate and gain back their countries. But I chose a different track. I wanted to be better than my enemy and to prove as a model or a sample of my own people our great competence and great abilities. I'm not here to talk about what I am, but I'm here to say that, and I'm addressing and talking to the young generations. I have 4 children and 9 grandchildren. I'm addressing the not my grandchildren, but their future siblings, to tell them that try before any change in your life to have a mission. It's great to have ambitions of money and wealth, political power, whatever, but that's not a mission. A mission is an objective and a goal that keeps moving and does not stop. And when I'm talking about excelling over my enemy, this excellence has no end, because life keeps developing and new technologies, and technology, as I always say, moves only forward. I have to keep up front. And that's what I did. And that's why if I achieved any success, it was because I had a mission, not because I was successful. Success is the end of a stage. A mission doesn't end. And the mission I took was my guiding star. Keep excelling and keep demonstrating to the world that you are equal. That's a modest ambition, and that you are better than any enemy that has thrown you out of your home, and that you deserve to be home more than he does. So, I want to close by addressing, as I said, the future generations. The great Palestinian people have demonstrated unbelievable commitment to their country. We all know about the deal of the century which President Trump proposed. I am a good student of history and of geography, but I'm also a good student of the future, because I study the future as much as everybody studies history and geography. I am yet to quote another people in history or in geography, in the past and in the future, who were one voice against this offer by President Trump. I have not heard, I have not seen, there has never been something like this. A whole nation, not one person, not one voice, agreed to this proposal. This is really unique in history. Revolutions and disputes and fights and all kinds of feuds, there are always voices, different voices for and against. But when the Palestinian people stood as one body, one person, and said no, and there was not a single dissenting voice. Study history and show me a nation that behaved this way against occupation. That's the nobleness of the Palestinian people. And I want to say that my trip as a refugee proved to me how noble is the Arab individual. The Arab nation is nobler than me and nobler than the Palestinians. I know every country in the Arab world, and I work in every country. And I have friendships of which I'm proud in every country. And I know that the real heart and the real thoughts are in the right place. And that no matter how they are being disguised by media, there isn't a single Arab who doesn't feel for Palestine what I feel for Palestine. I am now a Jordanian citizen, and I want to say special thank you to this country, to its leadership, to His Majesty King Hussein and His Majesty King Abdullah, for making me a loyal and very faithful Jordanian citizen. And this citizenship that I hold, which was offered to me by gracefulness of this country and its leadership, helped me continue my mission. So I am a very proud Palestinian, a very proud Jordanian, and a very proud Arab. On a future occasion, very soon, I will be talking about why I feel so confident about the future of Palestine.